I always wanted to make an animated short film. I had these ideas in my head. You look at Miyazaki's works and just forget they're just drawings. You felt something for Seta and Setsuko. Hi, I'm Suchit. I'm an engineering student and I'm trying to animate. In this video, I'll run you through the entire process of making your very own animated short film. We'll talk about the methods I followed, the mistakes I made, and what do I suggest. 3 years ago, I was waiting for a train on a platform. I saw a middle-aged man tired, waiting for the same train. He wasn't holding any bags, was probably waiting for someone. What if he had a flower? What if he wanted to give it to someone? The train arrives. He stands up. He sees his wife. He rushes to give her the flower. But wait, there's no wife. There's no flower. No one ever arrived. For hours and hours and hours he keeps waiting, but there's no train. Now you may say, Suchit, what about your train? Weren't you waiting for the same one? And my answer would be, that's how you tell a story. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't need plot twist. It just needs to make you feel something. We get too caught up with a perfect script, your first film will win an Oscar. Go easy on yourself. And here is mistake number 1, not setting boundaries. You don't need fancy large-scale worlds which need 7 volumes to fit. You need simple, limited characters in a limited world which is well thought of. And that will be a much better story for a film. And so I created 2 characters, Meera and Sagar. Well, technically 3 because Sagar is being shown at 2 different stages of his life. I started with writing every possible trait of my characters, where they resided, their surroundings, and this groundwork helped me a lot. Once I had the basic description of my characters, I started writing the story as a script. I wrote this in a diary a few years back, so I kept most things similar. Just changed a few plot points which either didn't make sense or weren't realistic enough to animate on my part. I also made a digital copy on Google Docs which later made it super easy to track progress. There are a few formats in which we do screenplay. I'll link a few videos in the description, you can check those out and learn more about it. I wanted to keep it very simple and doable since it was my first project. I was looking through different art styles on Pinterest and artworks of Steven Universe, and fan art inspired me a lot. So I stole everything I saw. I created several exhibits for myself. Each exhibit had something unique about it. So I have multiple reference points for your inspirations. So meet Meera, our Meera. In my initial draft, I had written entire scenes depicting the life and side of Meera, but I soon realized it won't be feasible to animate on my end. There was this scene where Meera is at her house packing her bags before leaving Mayuram. That would have helped the story a lot, but yeah, I had to skip it, It wasn't possible to animate. Similarly, here's our Sagar. He's a nice person. Simple nice person. I wanted to add a straw hat that helps a lot in identifying it's the same person. I had drawn several concepts for my characters and I feel I landed on something which was realistic on my part and also looked kind of decent. I didn't do extensive world building for this film, but I did a few things which made sense to me. Firstly, a few sketches of the world which helped me in understanding where my characters are set. I drew a simple map of the entire world where the houses, the bus stop and the railway station was. Since I was the only one working on it, I mostly relied on references. Storyboarding took a really long time. I had made 3 different storyboards before finalizing the 4th one. I have made an entire video on storyboarding, so if you want to learn more about it, you can check out the video on my channel. Initially, I made comic strips, but soon I grew impatient and started scribbling to a point it didn't make sense. So I drew individual frames on A4 sheets. This way I had way more control and incentive to make every drawing slightly better. Like this, I had drawn the entire film from start to finish. The storyboarding process for this film took me around a week. We are talking about the final one, right? I was tired, but yeah, it paid off. Let me get closer to the camera. Here is my second piece of advice. Make storyboards as detailed as possible. Because towards the end of completing this project, I was simply tracing my very own storyboard. So yeah, not the most ideal thing to do, but yeah, something to keep in mind. A finished piece is always better than an incomplete idea. So yeah. You will always try to be perfect, better than this, but at some point you need to just stand up and complete it. Animatic is like doing the basic sound design, rough voiceovers and editing it with the storyboard. I collected every audio needed for the film from Pixabay and started arranging them as per the story. I don't use the strongest of the PCs, so I used Filmora for this. Way faster than Premiere on my device. So, use something that works for you. You don't have to follow any sort of industry standards or anything like that. Do what works for you. Animatic helps you to figure out any inconsistencies throughout the story, and you can fix those by rearranging scenes, adding new ones or removing previous ones. I had to rearrange a few scenes and I have deleted quite a few. It was very, I would say, sad for me because those were well-drawn storyboards. I had to remove those scenes. But yeah, as they say, kill your darlings. At this point, I had everything figured out, so it was time to start animating. I did all the animation and camera work inside Moho, so if you want to learn Moho, I have made a crash course on Moho. So if you want to start, you are a beginner, you can watch that video. It's just 15 minutes. I've also broken down the sunflower scene in that video. You can watch it after this video, right? So let me run you through the project settings real quick. I have made this on a 3840 by 2160 canvas with the frame rate at 12 frames per second. I have extensively used line boil in this project. And yeah, it's a really cool effect. You can try it out. In this video, let's try to dissect the scene of Old Saga. Have a look at this scene first. Now I made these initial sketches for the scene. Even after the storyboard, I drew more detailed frames. I wish I did this for the hands, but yeah, what's done is done. So I had these 3 distinct frames. I first made a rig, and throughout this film, rigs were mainly used for the hair and, flowers. Mostly I have done point animation throughout the film. Look at this curve, this is frame 1, and at this frame the point changes. That's how I have animated most of the film. Moho is amazing for cleanup work. Like if you just make the sketches and import it into Moho and start doing, point animation, you're set. For the rain, I have used Moho's inbuilt particle script and played with the settings to achieve a somewhat cohesive look. Once I exported the scene, I would use this texture from YouTube as an overlay to get the texture throughout the film. It made a huge difference, like with and without the texture. So yeah, I would recommend it. Even some tastefully added grain looks good. And once you do this for every single scene, you will have a finished animated short film. Here are some initial backgrounds I made. It's nowhere close to what I imagined initially, but it's way better than what I thought it would turn out to be. And that's the main thing I would like to talk about. We become so engrossed in making the perfect piece that we never end up making anything, and that's simply sad. So just make things, good or bad. Just make things. Thanks for watching this video. Take care of yourself.